So if public broadcasting had a Hall of Fame, our next two guests would certainly be in it. Cokie Roberts is an Emmy Award-winning journalist, best-selling author, and senior contributing news analyst for National Public Radio. And we cannot talk about public media and the news without inviting back to the stage Jim Lehrer, the executive editor and anchor of PBS NewsHour. Please welcome to the stage Cokie Roberts and Jim Lehrer.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Again.
We wanted to let you know we were all looking forward to Scott Simon's presence with us this evening. He had a personal emergency and he couldn't make it. He did, however, send this message for me to read to you. He says, "Dear friends, I regret that family business has kept me from joining you in Dallas tonight to celebrate KERA. We have friends there and missed the opportunity to join you. Over the past 50 years, KERA has become one of the jewels of Dallas and Fort Worth, where I know that the stars are big and bright, informing, delighting, and challenging its audience. Thank you to everyone in and out of the room who has helped build KERA into a bright light on what can sometimes seem to be a dim horizon. Be proud of what you've created and sustained as you turn the corner into a bright future. With thanks, Scott Simon." And just so you know, Scott is planning to be in town next year, and all of you here will be invited to meet him when he is with us. Now to our esteemed guests. First of all, Jim, I have to say this, full disclosure, we at KERA like to claim that you really got your start in broadcasting with us, but my understanding is your first turn in front of a microphone was actually in not North Texas, but South Texas.
That's right, Chris. It was in the 1950s in the Continental Trailways bus depot in Victoria, Texas. I was going to a small junior college, very, very small junior college at the time, and working at nights as a ticket agent in the bus depot. And one of my duties was to do this. May I have your attention, please? This is your last call for Continental Trailways, 8:10 p.m. Silverside air-conditioned through-liner to Houston. Now leaving from lane 1, next to the building, for Inez, Edna, Ganedo, Louise, L, Campo, Pierce, Wharton, Hungerford, Kendleton, Beasley, Rosenberg, Richmond, Sugar Land, Stafford, Missouri City, and Houston. Connecting in Houston for Huntsville, Buffalo, Corsicana, Dallas, Fort Worth, Wichita Falls, Amarillo, Tucumcari, Albuquerque, Flagstaff, and Los Angeles. All aboard! Don't forget your baggage, please. and here I am.
We just had 4 people leave out the door to go catch their bus. And Cokie, you do not have a bus calling.
I don't. I was on the bus. I was on those buses, not in Texas, but in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And all my cousins and I think back on it now, you know, I have grandchildren the ages that I was then, and we would just go around as this marauding troop, from Crowley to Jennings to Mamu to New Roads to Lettsworth. We would just pick up cousins along the way and move in with aunts and uncles for weeks. And Mama and Daddy would occasionally drive by and, you know, say, "Do you have enough money for Boo-Ray?" And that was the summer. So I heard your call, but just about Mamu and Jennings, not about
You didn't go over the
Wichita
line.
Falls.
You
Never.
didn't go over the line.
No, not even to Winnie.
You know, so many of us in this room have heard you and watched you for so many years. I think the one thing we've never heard is either of you give your opinion about a story that you were covering, and that is not the norm anymore in what is called journalism in this country. And I wonder if you can talk a little bit about how this has been preserved in public broadcasting and is falling away in some other places.
Dean?
Well, it has fallen away. There's no question about it. And I think it's hurt the credibility of journalism generally, and I think it's damaged the the end result. Because the old days when Cokie started, there were three kinds of journalism. There was straight news reporting, and there was analytical reporting, and then there was opinion reporting. They were all three very legitimate. They were, what happened? That's number one. Number two, what does it mean? Number three, what should your opinion be, or what is my opinion about it? And they were done by three different people. And you didn't have the same person do all three. And now we see those lines, those demarcation lines, fading away. And they've been fading away because they work economically, particularly in the cable television world. In a world, larger world of journalism, which is in a state of revolution anyhow,
Right.
in all kinds of ways. So people are desperate to find, because there's more and more information, more and more access to information, more and more outlets, more and more opinions, more and more words being spoken and broadcast and potted and iPodded and yellow this and whatever and tweeted and all that stuff than ever before. There is increasing competition. And so you tend to do whatever you can do to get more readers, more listeners. Public broadcasting has been just the opposite. We have taken the position that we are not going to do that, period. It is not our mission. It is not good for the country and is not needed in the country. In fact, just the opposite. Public broadcasting and the kind of journalism we do, whether it's on radio or whether on television, is needed now more than ever before.
You know, really, people can't get over the NPR story because it is the only mainstream news media that keeps growing. And it grows in every book, every quarter of listening, of measuring listeners. And the reason is exactly what Jim said and what you asked, Krys, but it's not just that it's unopinionated, it's thorough. And it's also fun in many cases, whimsical, all the things that you want to listen to. But the fact that we have journalists all over the world in very difficult situations. It always does seem to be the women who are being shot at, I notice. But
and sent to 3 Mile Island.
Right, that was a long time ago. But in the Arab Spring, we have had really, really brave people, and of course, all through Iraq and Afghanistan. Annie Garrels had to literally walk across a mountain to get into Afghanistan at the beginning of that war. So the ability to actually be on the ground, cover the news, get it to you, and get it to you in a way that is important but also accessible, and do it every day, all the time, is something people want. And thankfully, they are listening more and more and more, and you are supporting it more and more and more. Thank you, because it makes a tremendous difference.
Well, we have not, would you agree, Cokie? I don't think we've done a very good job of telling our message to the world about why, particularly right now, public broadcasting is as important as it is. We talk about, the survival of public broadcasting because of funding problems and this and all of that. It isn't about survival. It's about enhancing what we do. It's about increasing what we do. Because if we do not do it, it isn't going to get done. And I've said many, many times that I don't care now if somebody watches the NewsHour on their pink iPod with their name engraved on it. I couldn't care less. That's just
They
mechanics.
have your name too.
That's just mechanics. But we have and particularly right now, Cokie, we've got a presidential election campaign about to come up. It's already beginning, of course, for one side and a half, and we're about to decide who's going to be the leader of this country for the next 4 years. This is the most important business that we have in a democratic society, and it was Thomas Jefferson, and again, he said, I paraphrase, he said to his fellow founders, "Hey guys," and they were all guys.
They were.
He said, "Hey guys, if we do not have an informed electorate, if we don't have an informed population, this thing isn't going to work. And the only...
And then he went about paying scurrilous journalists to write lies.
Never mind. But the point is that right now, as I was saying, the world is, there's all kinds of stuff out there about everybody who's running for president, every issue, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this campaign is going to be even probably nastier than before, because the next one is always nastier than the one before.
It's never been worse.
Yeah, but in this case, a little nastier than before, I think, because you have legitimate hurt in the country. When you have legitimate hurt in the country, in other words, you got a lot of people who are losing their jobs and they don't know if they're going to find one. You got people losing their homes, they don't know if they're going to find another one. They got people who thought they were going to be able to send their kids to college, not going to be able to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That causes people to look for other solutions, to listen to the shouters that they might not otherwise do. So the need to kind of sort through the shouting and sort through it all with the facts is going to be more important this time than ever before, because there's so much more of the noise out there. And journalism is journalism, as way we practice it, the way I would define it, is the cut through the noise function. And public broadcasting on radio and on television is should be the principal vehicle right now, and must be. We must meet the challenge. It's an opportunity, yes, but to hell with that. It's a responsibility we have to do more, and of what we do and do it better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and quit whining about the fact that we don't have enough money. We just go find a way to find that money and get it because we need it. Yeah.
Thank you both for what you do, and also sincerely, thank you so much for being here.
Well, we want to also, this is Jim's home, and he's here a lot. I'm here more often than you would think. But the wonderful support of this community for public broadcasting, and this gorgeous place we're in. This is so exciting. This $1 billion for an art center that this community has put up. I mean, you all are great. And thank you so very, very, very much for everything that you've done and for all of your support.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cokie Roberts and Jim Lehrer.
Thank you.
Thank you.